What's up you guys, Sambo here. Welcome back for another video. Today we are over in my Gibraltar map and I thought we would go through some of the information that I gave you guys in the official City Skylines YouTube channel tutorial about making a cargo ship bay. Basically this thing right here. So first of all, go check out that video. It's a very short, quick, concise video, and basically all I want to do in this video is go through all of the things that I mentioned, and also just go a little bit more in depth and also show you guys some of the assets that I use and just a little bit more information. But definitely go check out the other video first. I shall link that below. So just to show you guys where we are quickly, if you're not familiar with this city, this is my Gibraltar map. So Gibraltar is a real place in Europe. It's famous for this big mountain shape right here, and so that's what I work on quite often, and that's where my official cargo bay video was done with this one right here. So let's go through some of the things. Some of the things that I mentioned are going to be, you know, bits of information that I mentioned in the other video, but I just want to basically say a little bit more in depth. Now, the first thing that I literally wrote down a list, you guys, because I wanted to make sure. The first thing is when you put down your cargo trains when they're coming through, because you obviously you definitely really should connect up your cargo trains to the cargo bay, because instead of having the train, there's going to be a lot of trucks, and when there's a lot of trucks, there's going to be a big buildup of traffic, and it's not going to be very good. So it's good to have a cargo train coming in to help reduce all of the truck traffic. But one thing that you need to keep in mind is that these trains, the cargo trains, are very, very frequent. So there's going to be a lot of them all the time. So you need to make sure that you don't place these on existing passenger train lines. So in this city, there's no passenger train lines, but for example, let's pretend this was a passenger train. It would not be wise at all to have the cargo terminal here, and then it goes along the existing passenger train line, because having a lot of passenger train lines and then all of these trains here, it's going to be a real mess. So if you are going to have cargo and the passenger trains, make them have split train lines. So for example, down here, you could do this line as the passenger and then this one as the cargo, and just make sure they don't meet, because when they do meet, it's going to be a big issue. And that's one of the main issues I saw on my City Fix series. People would always put the cargo and passenger trains on the same line, and it just would not work. So keep that in mind, you guys. But this is a cargo station, by the way. So next, like I said in the tutorial, keep it close to the highway and the downtown area. So you need to make sure you have a lot of different entry and exit points, because if you just have one, so if we look at this whole thing, and let's say that the only entrance point was over here and the exit point was here, basically all of them are going to have to funnel down to here. So you need to make sure you have several different ones. So I have this one, this is probably the main one, but I also have this one over here. So this one, they come off here. This one doubles as going into the cargo bay and also going into the downtown. And then we also have this one underneath, which you guys can't really see, and I don't know if you guys saw it in the tutorial, but this one, if I go down a little bit further, this one goes down under, and then under this one and around, and then basically up onto the highway. So when you're doing these, you want to maximize the space. So that's why I've put the little slip lanes underneath. Also, I've put lots of cargo warehouses underneath just to maximize the space, because obviously warehouses are going to be really important for holding all of that stock. So yeah, definitely make sure you have lots of entry and exit points. I would recommend not doing this unless you're really, you know what you're doing. So what I mean by this is give the cargo, let's just call this, what are we calling this? The cargo bay. So give the cargo bay specifically their own entrance and exit point that wouldn't be used by the ordinary people driving their cars. You know what I mean? So keep it separate, and it's going to be really just a lot better. Also, in terms of the layout, you don't need to do a lot of big grid systems, because if you have a lot of grid systems, there's going to be a lot of crossing intersections. So keep it simple. Like if you look through here, just one line, one road going straight through. It's very simple, it's easy. And if it's easy, it's going to be easy for them to get in and out. Same for over here as well. It's just a one-way loop. It's a little bit congested, but that's all right, but it's just a one-way loop, and then they can easily slip off and go directly onto the highway. If we didn't have these slip lanes here, maybe they would have to go up through in here, through the downtown, and go along this little road here, which it wouldn't be good. So slip lanes on and off everywhere, just keep it simple. And you can either do roundabouts or time traffic lights. For me, you know me, I just like roundabouts because they're simple, they keep the traffic moving. But if you know how to do time traffic lights, I would recommend doing those as well for intersections like this. But yeah, up to you. One other thing I wanted to mention, that it is actually good to have at least one connection from the cargo bay into the downtown, because obviously the downtown area, it's a busy area. There's going to be a lot of shops and offices and workers, so they're all going to need something from these ships that are coming in. So have at least one road connection. So for example, this one goes directly into the downtown area, but yeah, don't make it too accessible. So for example, don't make the highway connection over here somewhere. So this is kind of just like another option for them if they want to go directly into the downtown instead of going onto the highway. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, just have at least one connection directly into the downtown, but make sure the main connections are to the highway. And then of course, just back to the trains quickly, I don't think I have an example here, but just make sure that the cargo train lines don't cross over roads. So I think in the tutorial, yeah, the example was this train line went across here. And obviously there's a lot of cargo trains, they're very frequent. And there's a lot of trucks, which are very, very frequent as well. So make sure that they don't actually cross. So for example, you could do the train going over the road, under the road, I don't know, something, just make sure that they do not connect, because that is going to cause a disaster and we don't want that. Now, another thing to look out for is where your ships are going. So if we open up this and go into our ships, if I click on there, actually click on this one. There we go. So you want to make sure that your ships aren't going through these areas. So for example, this obviously was artificial. So this could have been an actual ship line before. So you want to make sure that they actually don't crisscross areas that they shouldn't cross over. So you can actually change it by using the ship path, and I'm saying ship with a P, not with a T. But yeah, you can download the ship path alternator. Oh my god, I feel like I can't talk. But you can download this and you can actually change where the ship paths go. For this example, this was the existing line, but when I placed these down, their main line was to go right through here, and obviously we don't want them to go through this little peninsula here. So it's good you can just draw them out like that, but make sure they are connected. And then also just make sure that they're not going over like little islands or going through bridges or anything like that. So definitely, if you are doing this, you should get this ship path so you can change that around. Now, of course, when you are building your cargo bays, it's good to not have residential nearby. So obviously this is my downtown, and most of these are going to be commercial or office. And when they are commercial or office, they can deal with the heavy traffic and the loud noises. So if this was all residential, they would be complaining so much. So keep that in mind, you guys. No residential nearby to your noisy cargo areas. I also just wanted to show you guys some of the assets that I used throughout this area, because I know some people probably wanted to know, so we'll just go through them quickly. So this cargo train station is called the Drosovilas. Sorry if I butchered that. Cargo station, Drosovilas. There you go. And then if we go over to here, we have this, which is these are, I'm pretty sure these are actually in the game. So if you have the find it tool, you can go down here, go on growable, click on your industrial, and then maybe you can choose the size. They should be in here. Oops, I believe so. Are they in here? Are they not in here? Oops, shouldn't have chose that. There we go. So they're already in there. It's the UK industrial units, you guys. So these ones are actually really cool. I think they look really realistic. Yeah, they just look good. This little parking lot here is the poorly maintained parking lot. Good name. Warehouses. I'm pretty sure these warehouses, hang on, I'm pretty sure they're in here. If I go into here, no, they're not in here. Some of the ones I have used are the in-game ones, but we also have these other warehouses, if I can just find them for you guys, because I feel like they're good to have, these ones especially. So these ones are called the Japanese warehouses. That's right, Japanese. Yeah, they look good. I actually really like how they're squished in underneath there. Okay, next. This is the in-game one. We went over that. That's the UK. This is the in-game water tank. If we go up here, these are also from the this guy down here, which is the oil. So the industries DLC. This is a recycling center. We have, this is the in-game, some props there. What are these? I'm pretty sure they're the Japanese ones as well. If we go over to here, these ones are from the industries DLC as well, so I've turned them off just because they create a lot of traffic, but they're basically just there for the look. This big guy over here, so this is, oh, I like this, it's really good. This is called the Harbor Pack version. I'm pretty sure it's the same one, yep. And then this road is the in-game one. Pretty sure this, oops, I'm pretty sure this right here, yeah, this is the medium warehouse from the Industries DLC. Japanese ones, this is from the Industries DLC. And then the cargo terminals, I just use the in-game ones as well. And then over here we have a few more little things. So this is from the, is that the oil? Petrochemical plant. This is the in-game stuff, we covered those. This big guy over here is the container port warehouse. So this one actually functions, it moves around, which is really cool. This big ship is the ship Euro Minery. Is that Euro Minery? Yeah. This guy here, the Fabric, Soviet factory. This big guy right here, if I can click. No, I don't think I can click on that one. That's all right. And then we covered those. So that's just some of the assets that I used. Not too many, like just a lot of warehouses, but I thought I would just mention those just in case you guys wanted to know. And then just quickly, we'll cover this. I know I covered it already in the tutorial, but just make sure it's probably easier to just do the one-way option like I've done here. So you can see they go in and out, but if you have a two-way road, they kind of crisscross all over each other and it gets really, really messy. So just do one-way roads, keeps it so simple. And then the other option was do it like this, just to split it up so they go in here and then they're forced to go left. If you are doing this, just make sure that you do the lane connection. So for example, before I did the lane connections, they would come out, turn left, and then they go back around. Or the other option would be they come up here and then turn around here, which just was not good at all. So you can split it like this, but just make sure you do the lane connectors, and then make sure when you have the traffic, so when it's coming out like this, see how they're going in here and then out. So the way that they're coming out, you should have a highway connection nearby for them. So this example, they go in here and then they're out, and then they can just go down here and then they're onto the highway. Very simple. Same for this one over here. So they come along here, they go in and then out, and then they're already back onto the slip lane, which takes them back directly to the highway. So it's really important to give them really good options to keep the traffic flowing, because as soon as one little issue happens, since there's so much traffic, there's going to be a really huge build up in a really fast amount of time. And then the very last thing that I just wanted to mention, it's something that I didn't mention in the tutorial, but you'll notice I've left space. So there's space in through here, there's space along here, there's also these areas over here as well. So I liked adding this extra space because I can just add in a new cargo terminal if I needed to. So all of this extra space is basically for future expansion, and I think future expansion is pretty realistic because cities are always growing, unless your city isn't growing for some reason, but most cities are continuously growing, they have more needs. So there's an easy option to just expand down here or over here if they really wanted to. And you guys, that is probably it. I hope this kind of covered everyone's, random questions from the tutorial. One thing I do like, and you'll notice this a lot in real life, since the cargo bays, they are right nearby to the downtown area, a lot of the time they get converted into, really fancy residential. So that's something that I actually look forward to doing. So eventually converting all of this to some kind of fancy residential area. So yeah, so like these areas over here could be, and that's why I also made this little area here, because you could pretend this was the original port through here, and then, you know, it got too small, and then it got converted to residential, and now look at it, it looks really cool. So yeah, I love this city. It looks so good. I love this big cargo bay. It looks really good. It fits in with the city as well. Alright, you guys, well, hopefully that is everything. If there's any other questions, just let me know down below, or you can message me directly on Instagram. You're most likely going to get a better answer on my Instagram because I'm more chatty over there. And hope you guys don't mind. This was just a very quick, informal video, but I just wanted to get those few little tips and thoughts off my mind and out onto a video just to help some of you guys. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later.